So here's how to climb the corporate ladder to get your first six-figure job in your 20s. And this is coming from someone that did this by 22 years old. Now, the first thing you want to do is to test different things. At 18, I was working for a clothing store called YD. As you can tell, I like to dress nice. I actually like fashion quite a lot, but I actually don't really invest too much time and attention into it just because of the time of my life. I'd rather put that money into extra employees, but I love clothing. At 18, I'm working for YD clothing store, and I got fired as a Christmas casual within less than 6 weeks, essentially because I was too busy. The next job I had after that was I tried network marketing, and I also worked for my dad part-time as an administrative assistant. Network marketing, I did that on the side. As I did network marketing, I was able to get a job at an SEO marketing company. And I was an account manager. Well, I was mainly a salesperson, let's put it that way. Now I got fired from that job in sub 6 weeks. So I was like, okay, at this point, I have experience in retail. I have experience in a marketing agency. A couple months before I got fired from that agency, I started my own agency. So I wanted to learn how to do it correctly. So I ended up getting hired again at another agency. And this time I stayed a bit longer, I learned a lot more, and I got paid way more money. I had more skill in the market because I was building my agency on the side. I ended up quitting that job. I was a BDM, but I was making 90K per year at that job before I quit. And part of that was because of insecurity. I realized that I, at that time, had not mastered cold calling. So I didn't want to keep a job where I was barely making any sales. So I end up quitting that and I get hired at a tech sales company. Now, I stay there for 9 months. At this point, this is the longest I've ever kept a full-time job because I'm very much an entrepreneur. I'm naturally someone that likes to work for myself. So the good thing is, and I ended up getting another job after that, which was my first six-figure job, because I now mastered the skill of cold calling, which then allowed me to get, again, a job in, I guess, property tech sales. It was more like a startup. But anyway, the good thing about this was I'd tried different types of sales-based roles, but in different industries: retail, marketing agency model, SaaS, tech. So eventually, by the time I was in property, SaaS, tech, I was like, I have a pretty good idea of what I need to do to be able to keep the job, and I ended up staying there for a couple of years. I know what I need to do to get results. I know what to do to keep the boss happy and to make sure I'm happy, right? So the good thing about testing multiple things in the corporate field is I'm not encouraging necessarily job hopping because statistics share that many Gen Zs will tend to do that. But what I am saying is if you, in a space of 2 to 3 years, can split test 3 to 5 different industries, you will be able to figure out, I like these patterns the most. And these patterns might be an aspect of those industries. It might be the account management of the 3 jobs you had. It might be the complexity, it might be the ease, it might be the socialization of it. It might be the types of people there. I like working with introverts that are behind computers that are geeky. I think coding's for me. I am an extrovert who likes to be leading teams. Maybe I want to be a sales manager, right? So the more you test, the more you expand the bandwidth of opportunity for yourself. So that's number 1. Step 2, figure out who the A players are and sit as close to them as you can, or listen to them as close as you can. So I'll give you an example of what I did. When I was 21 and I had the 3rd or 4th job that I had where I was now cold calling at this tech sales company, the one that I was at for 9 months. I was 21 years old. I was living in the city at the time. And what I would do is before the COVID, the cough, I would stay behind after work and I would tell one of the managers, whether it was, shout out to, I don't want to name them actually because I've told a lot of stories about this company. It was a great company, by the way, but yeah, the company was great. I'll put it that way. The company itself was great and majority of the people were great. But my team leader, who was an absolute stud, shout out to Mikos, I'll mention Mikos, I would be like, bro, at the end today, let's role play. So I would get him, I would pretend I was cold calling him, we'd go back and forth, and I was just getting my skills sharp because he was an A player. I did the same with the area sales manager. Shout out to her. She was incredible, extremely experienced sales lady and saleswoman. Hold her back. I was like, let's role play. I would role play and I would hold these people back until I got so competent and was doing so many reps at the ripe age of 21 that it would be unreasonable for me to not, essentially be amongst the top of the charts. And I think in 1 month while I was there, I was, if not the best, one of the best, or top 3 or top 2 appointment setters in the whole of like that Melbourne office. And I was 21 or 22 at the time. So, I had people saying, you're the hardest worker here for a while, and I'm really proud of you, respect the hustle. I was a bit more, like wary of like these older, late 20 and early 30-year-olds giving me these compliments because I don't want to get, dogged out or anything like that. But the great thing was I was willing to get around A players and to directly learn from them and get feedback. And that is a great way to fast track your skill set. And I'm forever grateful for working at that company, because now, like last week, today's Saturday, in the last 6 days, I myself, not even any of my other people in my team or the appointment setters, I'm not even talking about them right now, the 20 plus staff that we have in terms of contractors, part-time, full-time employees all across the world, I made myself over 1,000 calls, 200 to 230 calls a day. And for me to be able to just put that amount of effort in whilst doing 3 to 7 demos a day, whilst managing the staff, whilst managing more than one business, I own a few businesses as well, right? It allowed me to be able to call that many people without that much fear of rejection, just because I'm numb to it because of what I did when I was 21. So getting around A players is a massive hack that once you figured out your lane in corporate, is just gonna fast track you and save you so many years of trial and error, because from 18 to 21, I was trialing and erring, got around some A players at a really good company, and boom, like within 9 months, a lot of my appointment setting and cold calling skills were fixed, right? Now, the third thing you want to do, this is very important. Yeah, just 1 second. Guys, if you're liking this video, just hit like and subscribe, because we really appreciate your support. And if you think someone else can benefit from this, then please share it with a friend as well. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, and back to the video. The third thing I'd suggest that you do is actually hire a coach. And here's what I mean by this. Whether this is an executive coach, I had a cognitive behavioral coach, whether it's a sales coach or a communication coach or a corporate coach, having someone who can assess your behavioral patterns and help kind of carve them, right, to become smoother where they need to be and sharper where they need to be, is a great way to fast track, again, your professional progression in the corporate sphere. One of the bad habits I'd had and I'd identified within myself at 20 to 21 years old / 22 was I'd get momentum, I'd have an opportunity to win it big, and I'd stall. So like I'd reach a ceiling, grow really fast, reach a ceiling, and I'd stay there. And I'd have some sort of limiting belief in my mind, perhaps from growing up or my environment, where if I got too good, maybe I'd be shunned, or people would look at me funny, or I'd get criticized. Super unconscious stuff, probably from high school, right? When I was much younger, like 12, 13, I used to be a bit chubby, lost some weight, became borderline anorexic. So I'm quite an extreme person, and maybe that was still lingering in the back of my mind in my very early 20s. But now I am very happy to be almost even showboaty in hard work and grinding and work ethic and ethics, because I was able to have a cognitive behavioral coach help me rid of certain beliefs and certain behavioral patterns that at once were stalling me. Now I don't really have much fear of success. I actually have more of a fear of failure. So what I mean by that is I'm happy to adopt a lot of responsibility, but I really don't like to lose. The fear of losing drives me more than the result of winning. And there's a lot more pathways that you can learn that about yourself. But having some sort of coach really catch up with you on a fortnightly, a monthly, a weekly basis to iron these things out on your personality was a massive thing that helped me not just make 6 figures a year at 22, but actually maintain it. And then after that, 23 was 200K a year. And then after that, 24 was a couple 100K a year. And now I'm 25, and hopefully this year, we can hit the 7-figure mark in revenue. But these 3 things, guys, in the corporate sphere are going to make life so much more efficient in climbing that ladder. Because I know it's not easy. I know it's tough. I know that if you're in your 20s or even 30s, things can get really catty in the corporate sphere. People can backstab you. You can get laid off. These things can and likely are to happen. But if you do these 3 things tirelessly, consistently, and over 2, 3, 5, 10 years, it's virtually, I wouldn't say impossible, who am I to say that, but it's very unlikely that you're not going to at least make a bare minimum of 6 figures a year. And for many of you watching, multiple 6 figures a year, maybe even 7 figures in the right position, especially if it's a startup. So if you guys found value from this, like the video, comment, and please share it with a friend. And as always, guys, think mega. Hey, guys, listen, it's Dami. Thank you for watching this video. If you got value out of this, then like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to share this with a friend if you think that they can also get value out of this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.